This is what I'm talking about when I keep saying that this guy's a genius.
In the world full of podcasts, he's the undisputed heavyweight champion of hot takes, an Auburn sports homer, master of the book, and message board legend. Get your buttons buttoned and your hats flattened because the Top Button Podcast is about to kick off. And you don't want to miss your courtside seat. Now, here's your host, Charlie Five.
Yes, sir. We're back. It's another episode of the Top Button Podcast. I'm your host, Kyle Rush, a.k.a. Charlie 5, and we are ready to get after it. I've said it before, and after yesterday, I'm going to keep saying it. I think this guy's a genius. From the way that he answers questions to the things that he says that everyone wants and needs to hear, to now you're talking about an actual fall camp, a camp. We're going camping. We're going to talk about that, how much these guys really love Omar Mabson and what he brings to the table. And champ is important. That kind of answered a question that I had a couple of shows ago. Champ is important. We're going to talk about that as well. But before we do that, let's give a shout out to Ford Stokes with Active Wealth. You can book an appointment with Ford like directly into his calendar. You go to calendly.com/Ford Stokes. calendly.com/Ford Stokes. And you can literally see what his availability is. And you can just book an appointment straight into. A lot of you guys have taken advantage of that. Only Barn listeners can do that. Get your free portfolio analysis, your financial plan all the way out to your 95th birthday. If you're going to retire, you got to plan for it before you retire. Show them some love. It's Ford Stokes with Active Wealth. I'm not going to like bore you on all the details of the camp because I'm sure that you've heard of it, like you heard about it yesterday. By now you should have. Going to Grand National for 13 days, no distractions, no girlfriends, no pets, no nothing, just ball. I dig it, man. As football has grown, football is the ultimate team sport. And I feel like it's become more and more individual as time has gone on. And this is even before NIL, with recruiting rankings and, everything that goes along with elevating the person, the player versus the team. NIL has only just completely expedited that. Back in the day, you'd always go to camp. You'd go off location somewhere. You've seen it in the movies. And Remember the Titans, Junction Boys. Shoot, I think even the NFL, when they do their training camps or in OTAs, is still somewhat of a camp type atmosphere. And Auburn has played to me as a team of individuals for quite some time. It's felt super disjointed. It's felt just not like Auburn football. Freshmen live in the dorms, and then after your freshman year, you just kind of go out and do your own thing. This is just such a great way, I think, to get everybody on the same page. It was funny yesterday. We were walking out of the interviews, and this is about the time everybody was getting there for lunch. When I say everybody, I'm talking about the players. They were filing in, and they were all so like giddy and excited. Like it's something that I feel like these guys are looking forward to. I think football players as a whole, like you kind of yearn for that brotherhood. You yearn for, fighting for the guy next to you. I think this could end up being a fairly big recruiting tool. I don't know what other schools do across the country, but I think this is something that kids will start looking forward to. This isn't something that Golesh just kind of pulled out of his hat. This is something that he's always done as a head coach. He did it his 3 years at South Florida too. It's genius, man. It's something different in an age where everything is becoming so individualistic, such about me. It's all about me and not about the team. And these are the little things. We always talk about the little things. This staff does the little things. These are the kind of things that lead me to believe that no stone is going to be left unturned, or that there's not going to be any question marks about game plan, about decision making, about roles during the game. Like, all of the things that I feel like have led to losses. Like, for example, when was this? This was a couple of years ago when you had Towns was your kicker, and there was uncertainty about should we or shouldn't we run on the kickoff, the field goal team. And then you do a fire drill field goal attempt, and there's no time hardly on the clock, and then you snap one and you miss the field goal. That was uncertainty. That was like not really sure about the plan. That was just a moment where you had very little attention to detail. And then what did it end up doing? It ended up getting in Towns' head, and now you've kind of planted that seed, and then he just had he had an issue the whole rest of the year. I don't think this wins football games. Let me back up. I don't think this alone wins football games. Going to camp doesn't win football games. But it's a part of all of the steps about building a program. It's a small piece of all of the things that you have to do to be elite. You can't miss anything. The margins are too thin. And that's why it's like hard for me to believe that this staff's not going to be successful. Yeah, you're probably deficient in talent in a few spots, and deficient is not even the right word. You're probably going to be undermanned in some situations, but the ability to put the time in and effort, it's not even an ability, the desire to put the time and the effort in to all the small things to make sure that, okay, we know that this could be a disadvantage. So dadgummit, we're going to go down every single potential thing we can to try to alleviate what could be a disadvantage. And those details go all the way down to room assignments at fall camp. Like, we're going to make sure that the young guys are with the older guys, and that we're working on developing them for the future. So that may help them in year 2 or halfway through this year to be able to be ready to play. All those things build off each other, man. I think this is such a smart move. And again, I think it's going to pay huge dividends in getting this back to being a team thing. Going from last year where you got one side of the ball stretching with position groups and warming up that way, not looking like a unit. When you got the other side of the ball, working together and looking like a unit, and then the product you see on the field resembles that. One side looks disjointed like a bunch of individuals, and the other side functions as a unit. Now, let's get the whole team functioning as a unit. This is a great way to do it. I love it. I love everything about it. I think it's going to pay huge dividends. And again, it's not just fall camp. It's not just fall camp that's going to help Auburn win games, help Golesh and this staff win games. It's all the way down to room assignments. It's all the way down to requiring guys to eat meals together in the new cafeteria, holding a standard for being on time on meetings. It doesn't matter if you're Keyshawn Singleton, if you're number one guy, like, you're going to pay the price if you're not there. We saw that in the spring game. Like all those things build on each other to create a really disciplined and united unit. I love it. Let me know what y'all think. I don't think I'm overplaying it either. I think it's a big deal. These guys love Omar Mabson, man. They absolutely love Omar Mabson. And I'm going to be honest, I'm surprised. I'm not surprised that they love Omar. I'm surprised that Omar's been able to do what he's done. So we're going to talk about that in just a second, and also Champ Anthony. But before we do that, we're going to beat the heat. Go to Precision Tune Auto Care in Opelika at the corner of two parkways, Pepperell Parkway and Veterans Parkway, and get that free AC performance evaluation. I mean, shoot, man, it's like hotter now than maybe it's been all summer. Free AC performance evaluation, free system pressure test, free vent temperature analysis, and $50 off any repairs over $300. Here's the cool thing. They did this with me. If there's nothing wrong, they're going to tell you nothing's wrong. They're not searching to find an issue. I went in there, had mine tested. They're like, "Hey, bro, 100% tip-top shape. You're good to go. No worries." Cool. Zero cost to me. It only took 30-ish minutes. Get to hang out in the great lounge while I'm waiting. I love this place. You can trust them. Give them a shout. It's Precision Tune Auto Care. And then do business with Auburn people at buyauburn.com. If you're an Auburn fan and you got to make a purchase or you're looking for a service, start with Auburn people. And the only place I know that you can do that and guarantee that you're going to be only looking through Auburn-owned businesses is buyauburn.com. Show us some love. It's buyauburn.com. We'll be back right after this. You can always tell how a coach feels about a guy when he starts bringing this player up unprompted. When the question isn't even 100% about said person and the coach still brings it up. And then when two coaches bring him up unprompted, which I think it's unprompted, that speaks volumes. And that's what happened yesterday when they talked about Omar Mabson. And again, they were not asked specifically about Omar Mabson. In reality, the only thing they were really asked is, what does a game day rotation look like for running backs? Like, what does it look like? What's the ideal scenario to go into a game with running backs? Do you want to split carries with two guys? Like that was basically the question. You know what the answer? We love Omar Mabson. Omar's our guy. I think it was Joel Gordon who said, from the time we walked in the door, he has impressed us. When we first got to campus, he impressed us when we met with him. He's impressed us with his workouts. He's impressed us with his leadership at such a young age. He says, sometimes I forget he's still only 18 years old. Like, I don't even think he's turned 19 yet. Because remember, he reclassified. I don't think I realized how far along Omar actually was. And maybe I should have had my eyes opened in spring when he's number 2 in the line, man. When they're doing drills, he's number 2 every single time they go out there. And, you know, we notated it. We wrote it down, but, like, what does that really mean? And then you hear these guys just kind of fawn over Omar. And it seems more real to me that he's your number 2 guy. Bryson Washington's going to have a tall task to unseat him in a very, very short period of time. And it ain't like Omar's not going to be trying to keep it either. It ain't like Bryson's going to get a free run to try to unseat him, because Omar's going to be trying to be taking over the number 1A back. That just seems like the kind of kid he is. I don't care if Jeremiah Cobb's been here. This is his 4th year. I don't care that, he probably works just as hard as me. I'm trying to beat him. I want to be the guy. That's fun, man. That's fun to see from the whole story around Omar. They'll talk, especially if he makes some plays, they'll talk about it on, they'll talk about it on the broadcast ad nauseum. Kind of like they did the whole every time Bo Nix was in, they're like, oh, he's Patrick Nix's son, and Jared Stidham's from Texas, and so on and so forth. Local kid, Auburn High. I somewhat wonder if that fuels him a little bit too. I want to be the hero. I'm gonna be the Auburn guy. Homegrown kid that came in early and just took over. He's gonna be a factor. I caught this, and I talked about this with Mike G that you'll hear this morning. And I haven't really seen many people talk about it, but I also have noticed this throughout the years of Golesh, that when he has 2 legitimate running backs, when you go look at their carries and their production, it's almost 50-50. And he said yesterday, ideally, you want guys rotating series. So I guess 1A, Jeremiah Cobb goes in there for a series, and he comes out for a series. And then he goes back in, and in the meantime, your 1B guy is going in. I don't know if Omar is there to the level of being a true 1B where you want to take the ball out of Jeremiah Cobb's hands yet. But it seems like ideally that's the situation that they want to be. Like they want to be in a scenario where you can keep guys fresh, you can run guys in, and I think that's motivational for those other guys in the room because Jeremiah Cobb is the alpha. But those other guys have to know, hey, man, there's carries to go around in this system. And Omar is definitely taking ownership of that. So if Bryson Washington wants to get his fair share of carries, he's going to have his work cut out for him. Omar is here to play, man. And these coaches are recognizing it. Another guy that's here to play, and it's so funny because a couple of days ago I did the show about guys in spring that were injured that I felt like were going to come back and be a factor. And obviously we had Christian Neptune. I can't remember the second one, but the last one was Champ Anthony. And yesterday, DJ Durkin, when he speaks, a lot of times the emotion is very level. Like he doesn't really have a lot of super emotional moments. We're businesslike. We answer the question, we get in and get out. And he was asked about Champ Anthony, and you could see his face light up when he was about to talk about Champ Anthony. Almost as if he was giddy's not the right word. But it really makes him, it was whatever he was about to say in regards to Champ Anthony, he was excited to say it, or he was happy to say it. You could see it on his face. Big smile. And what he said about Champ Anthony just convinced me that Champ Anthony is going to be a part of the plan moving forward. And that makes that defensive backfield so fascinating to watch as far as who plays where. Honestly, the only position, and this isn't a bad thing, the only position that I feel like really confident that it's locked in is Andre Jordan at corner. I feel pretty good that Eric Winters is probably going to be one of the safeties. But after that, to me, it's a battle. Everything's up for grabs. And DJ expects Champ to be it seems like he expects him to be on the field somewhere. Champ has played every position on the field. He's played outside corner. He's played nickel. He's played safety. And I liked that he said to me, and this is intentionality to know that Champ's going to be a factor. I like that he said, we're not just going to have him out there playing everywhere. Like, just be kind of like a, how you used to play pickup football games in the yard, and you had an all-time quarterback or whatever. Champ's not going to be just like the all-time backup for every single position in the defensive backfield. He's like, we're going to really we're going to move him around a lot during camp, and we're going to kind of narrow down where we think he can fit the best. But yeah, he plans to be, he seems to be a part of the plan. And I like that. The more you think about that, and the more you think about the guys, competing here, there's some pieces, man, that you could put you could have a really good 2 deep across the board in that defensive backfield. I just like that. I like the storyline around Champ. I like Champ as a person. I like Champ as a player. And I think he's an example. He's a great example for these guys to follow, to emulate. And you need him. You need him in the game. You need him to be a part of it. He feels like one of those spark plug guys that when you need to make a play late in the game, he can be the guy that just makes a play. I love the way Durkin talked about Champ, and I love the way those guys talked about Omar. Lot of great vibes. Not a lot of doom and gloom. Very upbeat. Yesterday was a lot of fun to see. It was a different feeling. It was not a feeling of tampering expectations. It was to me, just a feeling of excitement coming from the staff, and they used the word excited multiple times. So good stuff. Let me know what you think about fall camp. Let me know what you think about Omar and the whole running back situation, and then how you feel. Where's the best place for Champ to fit in? I haven't even figured that out yet. We'll get eyes on him today at practice. I'm going to go live around maybe 2:00 for a Q&A on practice. So make sure you're there for that, and you have all your questions ready. And we'll see what happens. I'm pumped, ready to go to practice. So, guys, y'all take care. We'll talk again very, very soon. It's another episode of the Top Button Podcast. Stay buttoned.
Thanks for listening, and drive home safely.